August 30th, October, that's the 10th month, October 30th, 2016, Ancestor Liberation. How did you enjoy last week that video on the issue of abortion? You see, remember Ray Comfort and Living Waters? Wasn't that amazing? The interviews, the street interviews about the issue. That was amazing. God bless their ministry, folks. They are tremendous. But it will be October 30th, 2016. Ancestors up to the 210th generation can be liberated by direct descendant on earth who is in true father's lineage. Please submit your application at the website. Decide your own offering amount. Special liberation for all children who died before birth as a result of abortion or other circumstances. This is a very important issue. And I think I didn't mention it in the English service, but I mentioned, of course, in the Korean service. This is very important for us. Because for decades, we had, like the Kwaks and the Hwangs and the different Korean leaders, telling the members and also writing in unification tradition books that they published that the baby does not receive the spirit until it is born. So then it's born and it breathes its first breath, and then thus it has a spirit. And they were saying that that's biblical because God breathed his breath into Adam. Okay? First of all, it's not biblical because Adam and Eve didn't come from a womb. Okay? They came and were formed from the dust of the earth. God breathed life into them. Second of all, from the principle standpoint, you can't have a physical body and not have a spirit. Right? So from principle perspective, it doesn't make any sense. So when Father appointed me as the international president in 2009, was it? 2008. 2008. We kept on getting these kind of things at World Mission Department all the time, these kind of questions. Okay, so and of course it didn't make any sense because the leaders were saying, oh, yes, no, the abortion. I mean, it's fine, we can do abortions because the kid's it doesn't have a spirit, et cetera, et cetera. And that didn't make any principle sense. So I had to go ask Father directly. And Peter Kim was right there, obviously betrayed Father, but he was there listening to the conversation when I had it with Father. And I said, Father, when does the spirit enter the physical body? And Father said, when the sperm meets the egg. The conception. Now, this is also, if you've seen Richard Panzer's incredible video that he sent, that now scientists have captured the moment when the sperm fertilizes the egg, there's an explosion of zinc oxide. Have you seen this? There's a flash of light. Yeah, they've caught that on camera. You have it, right? You can send it to anybody who wants it. It's like a zinc oxide reaction, right? And when the sperm and the egg react to, start fertilizing, literally the whole egg like glows, and there's this light burst, and then it goes away. There's a flash of light. When all of you were conceived, there was a flash of light. Isn't that incredible? So anyways, there's so many children in America, as you saw from that video last week. Over 53 million children have been killed. 53 million. Wasn't it amazing? Have been murdered. Wasn't it amazing when he asked all those young people in that trendy video, he asked them the question, okay, so finish the sentence for me. It is okay to kill a baby in the womb when? Never? Right? And so these young people got to think for the first time and not get sucked up into the propaganda they're growing up in. They got to think about the issues. And you saw them do 180s. You remember that blonde girl, the young blonde girl did a 180? The brunette girl did a 180? The young Puerto Rican man did a 180? The young Mexican girl did a 180? Did you see that? Yes. It was amazing. Because when they're put with the reality of what's happening, they do 180. People can make decisions. Their conscience speaks out against it. Okay? So 53 million children have been murdered in America. And it's almost become mainstream. It's okay. It's a woman's right. When is it anybody's right to kill another person? Never. See, that's the whole determination of slavery, for example. Somebody is determining other person's life's value. So if you're a slave owner, you have the power to determine another person's life value. You can do whatever you want to them, even kill them. So it has nothing to do with whether you're a woman or a man. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with human rights of a person, human being. And a baby is a human being, so it has human rights. Doesn't matter what the parents want to do to it. The baby has to have, those human rights must be protected if we are a compassionate society and a loving society. As we lose our Judeo-Christian values and this type of paganism, secular paganism, becomes more and more rampant, well, of course, people lose their moral compass, society degrades, and we end up killing 54 million babies, including 54% of black children. All my friends, when I was in high school, were black and Puerto Rican. That was the kids I hang out with. All in the communities, and statistics show, the most dangerous place to be if you're a black person is in the womb. 54% of black children, beautiful black babies, are killed. I actually wanted to get blessed. I thought I would probably get blessed to a black woman. I'm not joking. My friends would go, "Yo, you're going to get blessed to a sister." Oh, they liked me because I was Shaolin monk, you know. They watch kung fu movies and they're into that. Anyways. But think about all these black children being killed. And nobody say a word. All these minority communities. Where's Planned Parenthood, which was started by Ku Klux Klan member Margaret Sanger, who was an open racist. She wanted to kill black people. Where are all the Planned Parenthood institutions at? They're at the minority neighborhoods. The black, Latino, and now Vietnamese, Cambodian, now the Southeast Asians they're going after. So it's total ridiculousness. But anyways, during the ancestor liberation, we will be liberating those children. And when we have Divine Principle lecturers too, which will start as well, we're talking to a young man now who will maybe lead that up, but it's going to be a spiritual thing. It's not just going to be we're lecturing to evangelize and so people can join our church. We need to lecture and preach the principle so that the spirits can hear it too. The spirit world can hear it, can feed off of the word too. And so these young children who've been murdered before they had any rights, any say, any ability to defend themselves, are the most helpless, most innocent human beings on the face of the planet, and they're being massacred, murdered. Okay? In that situation, God, when he looks upon a nation that is doing that, all the ancient civilizations did that to young children, human sacrifice, giving your children to Baal priests, and offering to the sacred cow, put in the furnace with the fire, and you'll get the blessings. So how many of these children are being offered up on the altar of abortion, on the altar of, feminism, on the altar of women's rights? No, it's not your right to murder somebody. I don't care who you are. You cannot murder another human being. That's a human being. You can't touch it. You're murdering it. And so you see some of the girls in there, as they changed their opinion, they said, maybe putting up for adoption is, remember, because some of them were trying to say, well, what about in cases of rape? Yeah. And he said, well, you're punishing the baby for the father's crime. So if you committed a crime and you punish your child for your crime, is that fair? No. Okay, well, why would you punish a child who's totally innocent from their father's crime? And then they would think, maybe abortion, maybe adoption is better. And do you see how released that, the interviewer was like, wow, yes, isn't that such a much more compassionate thing to do? Just give the baby for adoption instead of murdering it? I mean, you see those girls. Those are California, liberal, totally brainwashed, propagandized young children, young people who have no critical thinking, who just believe whatever the establishment says, but yet when they are confronted with these facts and these realities, they have to actually, and they think about them, they do 180s. It was so amazing. It was so inspiring to see. So we will not be only praying for those children, we'll be liberating them. So that those children now can grow spiritually and they can feed off the word. So the lectures, Divine Principle lectures we will be doing here too, will be also for the spirit world. Father talked about this Yangyeon Seihappe, that is the headquarters of spirit and physical worlds. Because guess what, folks? The world we see is only a lower dimension. After this, we go to a higher dimension, which is where we spend the eternity of our lives, right? So we have all those living people who want to delight on the Word, who want to get closer to the Word, who want to feed off the Word. And what is loose on earth is loose in heaven. What is bound on earth is bound in heaven. So as we preach the Word, as we preach the revelation, we preach the principle, then also those children can grow spiritually and feed off the Word. So we told the young lecturer, we said, look, don't worry about filling it with people. You don't need to fill it with people. We're not here. We don't care if people come or not. We want you to do the lectures, you do the principal lectures, and you do it, even if there's not one person there sitting in your audience, your mom is there. Okay? Yours, the spirit world, people are there. They're going to be listening. Just like Father said, if he's in a room with one person, he's preaching like he's preaching in Madison Square Garden. That's the kind of spirit you have to have. And then that kind of spirit, where you have a greater heart than just trying to fill seats and trying to impress people and try to be popular, you preach the Word for the sake of preaching the Word, and preach the Word to let God delight in the Word. And when you have that kind of perspective on preaching and ministry, then people come. Because they feel something different. You're not pandering to their needs. You're not trying to be popular with them. You're trying to do what's right. You're caring beyond their perspective, right? What they're thinking. You're caring for people who died, passed on, and you're trying to feed them with the Word. So please pray for that young person. In the upcoming DP lectures that will be for the spirit world. And of course, earthly people are also welcome too. It's not like you're excluded. And we just, but I told them, don't hyper-focus on that. The point is not to have just a full room and, that's my determining factor of success. No. The success is preaching the Word, releasing it into the atmosphere, letting the spirit world delight in it, letting God delight in the Word. Okay? So for all unborn children throughout history, no application or request needed. People ask us, why don't we do application? Look, we are about freedom and responsibility. God knows what you do. You want to cheat God? You cheat God. That's not my problem. That's your problem. If you want to have, say I didn't do that, whatever, that's up to you. That's why we don't have people do applications. It's on your conscience. The responsibility is on us. Not on a church, not on an organization, not on whatever, on a pastor, whatever. No. It's on us. It's on conscience. Okay? So that's why we don't ask for application. Or if you don't want to donate, don't donate. We're the only church that say, you don't have to come to church, don't come to church, and don't donate, it's fine. We don't care about it. Why? Because that's not the purpose of why the church should exist. Right? It should exist for preaching the Word. Building a community of believers. Okay? So it doesn't have to exist within a four-wall place. We're grateful, of course, that God provided this this place and this facility. But this is not the confines of Father's providence. Amen. Right? Spiritual and physical life begin at the moment of conception. Yeah, that was huge, because of what I realized is that these Korean leaders had deceived literally hundreds of young, blessed children, girls, justifying them killing their children. And look, they were told by their leaders, it's fine. I actually heard that from Han Mother too. She said that too. She said, in some cases you can do it. Whereas Father said, no, when I asked him directly about the issue, the spirit is conceived at the sperm and the egg. And now that's backed by science with that super fantastic light flash, zinc oxide light flash. There's something magical that happens when a child is conceived. Okay? So it was amazing, Basically what I realize now is that the elites in the church, in order to cover up their daughters having abortions or whatever, tried to legitimize it. And it's exactly what the archangel does. They don't tell what what the Lord says. They make it convenient for their own benefit and then misguide. So when they do that, what happens? The people stray from God. And then what? We have all these young kids who have done it and they think it's fine. What are you going to do when you go to the spirit one? You have to now deal with that spirit. It's a child's going to meet you. They say, what's wrong with you? Why you kill me? What's wrong with you? Why you kill me? You see that? So this is the reality of what Father said. So we are now, so that's a very special October 30th. Please keep that ancestor liberation in your prayers. Okay, next please.